Back at it, and it's been far, far too long that we welcome CBC's Devin Heroux to the RP show. He's coming back to his home province, the 306, for the Montana's Brier next week. I saw that on your Twitter, Devin. Comment ça va, mon ami?
Roddy, always a good evening from the birthplace of curling. I'm in Glasgow, Scotland tonight, so it seems fitting that we're having this conversation of course, Scotland inventing the game, Canada perfecting the game of curling.
How about that? I wondered, because I don't see any plants behind you. I knew you weren't at home.
Hotel life, you know all about it. So, of course, we're getting ready for the Paris Olympics, and Canadians are here in Glasgow getting ready for the World Indoor Athletics Championships. Wrap your head around that. There are 14 Canadians here. Shot putters, sprinters, they're all here. They're going to be taking place. And, Roddy, I should just point out, last night I was at the stadium they call Paradise, Celtic Park, watching a football match here, green and white Celtic Football Club. Of course, I love a green and white football club. 55,000 on a rainy Wednesday night in Glasgow. Electric. Made me want to be back at Mosaic Stadium.
I was going to say, that's all 55,000? Oh, my God. Good for you for taking that in, by the way. But curling, Sask, together doesn't get better for you, I wouldn't think.
No, and I'll be going right from Glasgow to Regina. I arrive on Tuesday. That's when it's going to get really good. And listen, you know, this is a heartland of curling. I know a lot of people across the prairies want to lay claim to that. Saskatchewan is a heartland of curling. And of course, ticket sales have been great. The place is going to be rocking. Regina has hosted the Brier. This will be the sixth time. And I really think, Rod, what we're seeing now is a bit of a renaissance in curling. I know there was a lot of concern about attendance. Well, look at the Scotties, a great attendance. It was packed in Calgary. You just have to put it in the right places. Saskatchewan is a perfect place for it. So I can't wait for the Brier in Regina.
How do you feel about the field?
Well, the hilarious thing about this, Rod, is every year we say this is the most stacked Brier field we've ever seen. And, you know,
I know. Exactly.
We can debate the merits of what Curling Canada has done, which is this. Add all these CTRS teams and make sure they pre-qualify and wildcard teams, and there are 18 teams in the Scotties. Here's the bottom line. If you're going to use a Brier to get the best team to represent Canada at the World Championship, you better have your best teams there. So I love it. I think 7 out of the top 10 men's Canadian teams are in this Brier field. I love that we have the Brad Guzzu commercial, because this guy loves curling in Regina, of course. He won it in 2018, fresh off his win in St. John's. It's hard to believe that in 2017 it was his first title, and now he's going for a record 6th on the prairies. But this field is stacked, and I really like Mike McEwen in the Saskatchewan Green. This guy's kind of like the Kevin Glenn of the CFL, right? He travels around, and now he's in the prairie colors, and I think he might make some noise with a hometown crowd behind him.
Well, he's already making history playing in the Brier, representing 3 consecutive provinces in 3 straight years. So no matter how it turns out, he's made history. But, I mean, we've had fun with this. We've had Dunstone on this show. We've had Hebert on this show. And we've actually had Mike McEwen on this show. And we're all kind of wondering who's going to be the rooting interest in the Brand Center. But you and I are both Sask boys. They'll be cheering for Green.
We are.
End of story. That's it. Right?
That's it. Listen, somebody was coming at me on X the other day about my Saskatchewan bias. I have a curling bias, Rod. I love good curling, and I have a Saskatchewan bias. Of course, I want to see Mike 1980. I wasn't even born, Roddy. It's too long. It's been too long. People are forgetting about Rick Folk and that 1980 Saskatchewan team. Listen, people forget about Mike McEwen, how good he was at the Olympic trials in 2017. He nearly beat Kevin Cooey to go to the Olympics. Mike McEwen is the type of guy that when he's interested in the game, when he's interested in the bonspiel, he can beat anybody on any given day. Darren, I wish he would have stuck around. He was fantastic calling the provincials, the tankard. I liked what McEwen did. If this guy gets on a roll and you get a Saskatchewan curling crowd behind you, anything is possible, Rod. I'm telling you.
Well, Darren will be at the Brier, by the way, so hopefully we can get you on our show. Darren's going to be there anchoring one half of this show from wherever we're going to be set up there as part of our deal with Curling Canada. So we're going to make it happen. I can feel the excitement in your voice and the energy, man. And I know it's going to be just as good as we all expect. There aren't a lot of tickets left, but you can purchase them at curling.ca/Brier. If you don't mind, if I may be so bold, can you please give me an update on you? Because we haven't chatted for a while.
It has been a while. Listen, I'm having the best time of my life, Rod, and it's wonderful to see you. I should have hit you up. I was down in Florida covering Summer McIntosh in Sarasota, Florida, the great Olympic swimmer for Canada. She's going to set the pool on fire in Paris. It's all Paris all the time for me right now. So I am literally living out of a suitcase. I was in Portugal last week. I'm in Scotland here. Then I'm in Regina. Then I'm all over the map. But it can be a grind. You know that. But I'm exactly where I want to be.
Good for you, man. As am I. It's interesting when you bring up hotel life. I haven't been anywhere since August 26th, and I'm more than happy. Well, other than Super Bowl. I mean, who wouldn't make an exception for that? But it's plus 26 today, and the Montreal Canadiens are in town tonight, and life is bon. It's good. So, well, man, can we get you on next week from the Brier?
I'm always available to you and the show, Rod. So absolutely, I'll be at the. I take a late night flight from Scotland. I'll be arriving at about midnight on Tuesday. So Wednesday, I'm all yours. It's going to be spectacular to be back in Regina, to be watching curling in the Heartland. So I will join you. You can count on that.
We got to get cameras rolling on your arrival, because when I say this, Devin is the darling of the curling community. I've loved watching how that's all come to pass, and you've earned it. So enjoy the rest of your time in Scotland, and we'll chat with you next week.
Always good to see you, Rod. Thank you.
Good to see you, Devin. Devin Heroux from the CBC.